Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am super excited for this video because we're going to be testing out a new palette from Sigil Inspired, which is a Russian indie brand. I tried a palette from them not too long ago. It was my first experience with the brand and I really like the quality of it. I really love the colors and the textures. So when they released a new palette, I was all about trying it out. And it did take a little bit longer to get to me this time. I think last time it was only like 2 weeks all the way from Russia to America. But this time, gosh, I want to say it was at least a month. But this is the, I want to say Lavender Chinchilla palette. I'm sure I'll have the correct name in the title. It has just a little chinchilla on it, which is adorable. And the color story of this, I absolutely love. It's just a very soft, cool toned palette with pops of purple. The two shades in the middle look very similar, but the one on the bottom has a strong like purple and green shift to it, and the one on top looks to just be like a regular silver. There's 3 mattes, 3 shimmers, so I'm really excited about this. I've been super into cool tones recently, and I just see this being a color story I would use a lot for every day. And then I also went ahead this time and picked up some of their single shadows. They call them like their Sigil coins, and the packaging just looks like this. I already went ahead and took them out, but here's the 5 single shadows that I went ahead and grabbed. I just got some pretty colors. There's a few out of stock that I'm still interested in, so if I like these, I might end up grabbing more. But we're just going to go ahead and do a little swatch party, and then I'm going to try the palette out on my eyes today. So all of the shades that were in this palette were available as single shadows. If they still are, I'll have them linked down below. But this first shade here is called 38, and it just looks like a really nice, cool toned, I was going to say silver, but what I mean to say is gray. So there's what that one looks like. Ooh, that's really smooth. Good pigmentation. It has like a just a light kind of purpley gray undertone rather than like some grays are more blue based. And then the shade here is called 42 and it just looks like a really beautiful silver. Look at that. Very metallic. Next we have the shade 39, which looks to be a soft purple matte. That one's a little bit less creamy than the gray, but it's a pretty tone. It actually looks a little bit more mauve swatched out, but you can see it's not swatching as smoothly. So it might be one of those shades you have to build up a little bit more. And then the kind of deepest matte shade in the palette is this one right here called 40. And it looks to be kind of like a periwinkle kind of purpley gray shade. It's pretty. I wish there was one deeper shade in the palette. Kind of wish there was like a dark gray, smoky, matte charcoal shade in the palette just for it to be like more like universal and just more overall put together for 6 shades. But I still feel like it's not a bad variety. And then this next shade's the one that I'm most excited about. It's the shade 43, and it just looks like the most stunning duochrome. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Do you see how beautiful that is? It just looks like a silver in the palette, but it is... Oh. This shade reminds me of a mermaid, like the purple, the green, the blue. I would actually call it a multi-chrome. It's absolutely beautiful. Definitely gonna have to put that all over my lid today. And then last but not least in the palette is the shade 41, which looks to be just kind of like a bright pinky purple. It's actually quite vibrant, so I think that's a fun little pop as well. I feel like it's just the perfect little cool tone purple palette. It's even more colorful, like in swatches, than I expected. I thought it was going to be all a bit more neutral, but I'm pleasantly surprised. So cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some swatches really quickly of these single shadows that I picked out. It's really funny because I don't know if you guys can see like the little dent in this shade here. These were shipped like no extra bubble wrap, like just a little bit of packaging. Like this is how they came in these like little boxes. It was super cute, but it was in just like a tiny little mailer, like not even a box, and they came perfect. Like perfect. I don't understand how. Like none of them broke and they all looked phenomenal all the way, like I said, from Russia to America. And then I literally just plopped the shadow in the palette and it broke on the bottom. I'm like, really? I just thought it was ironic. But this first shade here is 06 and it looks to be like a really pretty, just like light, soft pink. Ooh, I feel like I'm going to use that probably for my inner corner today and maybe even try it out as a highlighter. Ooh, oh, that's even more pink on the skin than I was than I was expecting. That's really pretty. I feel like, am I crazy, or does it not look like way less pink in the pan? I like it though. And then the next shade is this really beautiful bronzy color called 04. That one feels super intense and like a creamy, thick metallic. Look at that. I don't know why I chose this shade. It's very, very neutral, but pigmentation is on point. And then next we have some really beautiful blue purple shades. This first one is called 012, and it looks like a periwinkle blue with like purple spottings throughout it. I don't even know. Okay, that one's a little bit drier to the touch, not as creamy, but still really good pigmentation. Yeah, you can kind of see the dryness as I'm swatching it, but it has like a really interesting shift. I don't know if you can see that. It's like, it almost looks like a satin with like a purple shift in the middle. Very cool. And then next we have the shade 017, which is a really bright indigo. Ooh, okay, that one looks super intense. Look at that. That is so pretty. Okay, do a little extra swatch of that. I love that color. It's so vibrant. And then last but not least, we have this smoky shade called 011. It just looks like a really pretty kind of deep blue. Super creamy and pigmented. Oh, wow. Okay, that one's a duochrome. It looks like kind of your typical like blue-brown. I don't know if you can see that. So those all look really beautiful, and if I remember correctly, they were all like maybe like $5 or $6 each. Shipping was only like $5, so not bad by any means. Also, look at the duochromes on my fingers. You can see them a lot more there, I feel. Like they are just so pretty. My order also came with a bunch of samples. I've got 3 here, and then I've got another one that came in this little package, but they're all completely in Russian. They don't have the English name at all. I have someone in my family who speaks Russian, so I'm going to get them to translate them for me so I can label them and make it easier for future videos, but I'm just going to bypass swatching and doing all that today. So let's go ahead and zoom in and then just try these out. Okay, so I already went ahead and primed my eyes with the Crow and Pebble eyeshadow primer, and I'm going to start off with the light purple shade. I'm just going to start that off through my crease as my transition color. Pick up a little bit more. This one's just not as soft as some of the other shades, but pigmentation still looks nice. I'm going to try and use all of the shadows in this palette on my eyes today. I'm just building that up a little bit and blending it out. I feel like that's one of those mattes you like have to like really swirl your brush in to pick up product, which isn't my absolute favorite. I prefer more of a loose powdery formula, but it's still blending out really well, so I'm not too mad at it. I just wanted to mention it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take this purple matte shade, and I'm going to pop that on the outer V. I'm kind of applying it in like a little bit more of a cat eye. I don't know if you can tell. Into the outer V. And then I'm going to go back into my previous brush and blend it out. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and dip into a little bit of this really bright purple. And I'm going to pop that on the outer third of my lid. So excited about this little palette. I just feel like it's something I'm going to be using a lot. The colors in here are so pretty. I kind of brought that in like a little bit further than I originally meant to, but I'm going to go ahead and just wipe off that brush, and I'm going to go into the stunning duochrome. I'm not going to use any glitter primer or wet my brush or anything, just going to try it on its own and put that all over the front of the lid. So pretty. It's definitely more of a satin, but I just love the color. The more you build, I feel like the more you can see the blue. And it again, just going with my previous brush and just going over the crease really quickly. I feel like that looks so beautiful. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to take a little bit on my finger just to try. Oh yeah, that's even more intense. If you want the duochrome to really come out, look at that. I feel like even like just the gray all through the crease and then throwing this on the lid would be such a quick, beautiful look. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and again, I'm just literally going to wipe off that same brush because I'm feeling lazy and I'm just not wanting to use a bunch of different brushes today. I'm going to dip into that gray shade now. Grabbing a little bit, I'm going to pop it on the outer half of my lower lash line. And then just maybe blend it in just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit of the silver. And I'm going to pop that on the front of the lower lash line. I feel like that brush is picking it up a little bit too fluffy. Just going to grab a pencil brush and some more of that silver. There we go. I'm just going to dip into a little bit of the Periwinkle matte and throw that on the outer third of my lower lash line. Just kind of connecting a little bit. Ooh, I'm so excited. I have the perfect liner to use today. But really quickly, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and take the shade 06, that baby pink, and I'm going to pop that on my inner corner. Gosh, that is so pretty. I really like that it's a baby pink, but it has enough pigmentation to where it's not just like a white with a little bit of a pink undertone. Like, it's very blatantly pink, if that makes any sense. Okay, really happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and take a pastel liner. I'm going to go ahead and take the Beauty Bay liner in the shade Aurora, which is a really beautiful soft pastel purple, and throw that on my waterline. Isn't that so pretty? All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw on some mascara really quickly, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so for highlighter, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and try out that eyeshadow, and I'm just going to use, gosh, where is it? The Sigma. It's a mess because I accidentally spilled my powder all over it, but the Sigma Soft Blend 30, it's been my favorite highlighter brush recently. I'm going to grab a little bit and just put that on the top of my cheekbone. Ooh, that's really pretty. Okay. I mean, it's very pink, so if you don't like pink highlights, I wouldn't recommend, but I love pink highlighter. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and use the We Makeup Liquid Lipstick in the shade 01. Okay, so this is the finished look, and I honestly don't know if it's my newfound love for cool tones or what, but I think that this is one of the prettiest palettes I've seen in a while. Like I said, it feels like just the perfect everyday cool tone purple palette, and I feel like I'm going to be using it so much. I love how this look turned out. I feel like all the little pops of purple in here are stunning, but also wearable at the same time. And just that duochrome all over the lid is so beautiful. I kind of can't wait to walk around the house a little bit and see what it looks like in different lighting. But I'm really happy with the look. I feel like all the mattes blended really nice. The shimmers are really pigmented and smooth. None of the shimmers in this one feel like a pressed pigment like the other palette I have from them. Gosh, I don't know where I put it at this exact moment, but one of the shadows in there reminds me of a pigment that's been pressed down. It's just like super loose and intense. And none of the shadows here feel like that. They're just more like super metallic shades. I'm really happy with it. I think it was worth the price and the wait. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more indie content from me and you're not subscribed already, don't forget to do that before you go. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.